Yes, good afternoon. Today discuss about that circulation system. Yesterday class completed respiration systems, then regulations, regulating of respiration factors, and chloride shift and Bohr effect. So, including yesterday classes completed. Now today, discuss about that circulation system. The circulation system and two types circulation systems: open circulation system and closed circulation systems. Then single and double circulation systems. Then next one, the mammalian heart, the types of heart structures, then structure, functioning, regulation of heart rate, and blood clotting factors involve the blood coagulation. This is the today conclude the discussion to this particular variations. So introduction. So introduction. All all animals require a continuous supply of nutrients, and oxygen for the production of energy, without which they cannot survive, and have to eliminate metabolic wastes produced during catabolism from the body. So this is the very important, because the circulatory system is one of the transported to nutrients and oxygen, and discharges carbon dioxide, releasing carbon dioxide. So the circulation system mainly used to the transported like that. All animals require the continuous supply of continuous. This is not a one time. This continuous process of supply of nutrients and oxygen for the production of energy, without which they cannot survive, without circulation, and how to eliminate metabolic wastes produced during the catabolism from the body. Yes, catabolism from the body. In complex multicellular animals with elaborate oxygen systems, nutrients and gases have to travel over long distance before they are exchanged at the cellular levels. It is the cellular level functions like that. The gases have to travel over long distance before they are exchanged at the cellular levels. Those animals, oxygen and nutrients are transported from the environment and digestive system to the body cells by an internal fluid. For examples, blood within a closed system called as circulatory system. The blood within a closed system is called as a circulatory systems, because in those animals, oxygen and nutrients are transported from the environment and the digestive system to the body cells and internal fluids. So this is the closed system of circulatory system. This is called as the closed system circulatory systems. The circulatory systems is also called as cardiovascular systems or the vascular system. The, the circulatory systems, also called the cardiovascular systems or the vascular system, is an oxygen system that permeates blood to circulate and transport nutrients such as amino acids and electrolytes. The oxygen, carbon dioxide, hormones, and blood cells to and from the cells in the body to provide nourishment of the help fighting disease, because this is the very important of internal capable and caliber to the internal organ cells of immunity growths, and disease, the fight to disease like the viral disease and bacterial disease and fungal disease also stabilized. At the same time, the stabilized of temperature and pH, the maintenance and homeostasis. The circulatory system consists the circulating fluid, blood, uh, prosperous organ, heart with pumps in the blood into vessels, and second one and the third one, tubes through which the blood circulates. For example, arteries and veins. And so the first one. circulating the fluid blood. The circulatory fluid bed are some type of fishes having the circulatory bed. The next one too, second point, the possibly organ heart which pumps the blood into vessels and like that too, human blood circulation. The next one, tubal with tubes with the which blood circulates in the areas and veins. The circulation. The circulation, like that, almost all multicellular organisms and circulatory systems to transport oxygen and nutrients through the body. So very important. All the multicellular organisms like that internal organs have the multicellular formation. The multicellular organs are like the multicellular organs need the circulatory system to transport to oxygen and nutrients through the body. The circulatory system is efficiently a network is cylindrical vessels like that arteries, veins, and capillaries. Capillary that originate from the pump, the heart, depending on the cap complexity. Circulatory system is divided in two types: open and closed types. Open and closed systems. So, see, I expose the one slides like that. What is the closed and circulations? I explained to these slides. So evolutionary variation of a circulatory systems. A circulatory system minimize the diffusion distance and animals with any cell layers like that. See, this is the general properties of circulatory system. Which type of general circulatory system? Actually, I am explain the what is the circulatory system. The mainly uh, almost the multicellular organisms, the almost multicellular organisms need a circulatory system to transport to oxygen and nutrients and through the body. This is the general information to the circulatory system. A circulatory system has a circulatory fluid, a set of the intra-connecting vessels, a muscular pump, the heart. The circulatory system concentrates the fluid that surrounding cells with the organs that exchanges gases, absorption nutrients, and dispose of wastages. Then next one, the circulatory systems can be open or closed and vary and the number of circulates in the blood body. The open and closed circulatory systems. So very two types of open and closed circulatory system having the animal functions. This is the functional art structures. The insects and other arthropods and most molluscs bath blood baths of the organs directly in a open circulatory systems. Mostly invertebrates animals like invertebrates insects are like that arthropods molluscs blood baths the organs directly in a open circulatory system. In an open circulatory system, so there is no distinctions between blood and intestinal fluid and this general body fluids in the hemolymph. It is the hemolymph having the hemocytes. It is the color is hemocyan in color, like that having the copper methods. So this is clear. Observe the insects having the uh, instance having the open circulatory system, and this is the second image is the closed circulatory systems. So this is a hard to use open. There's a hemolymph in sinus surrounding organs like that. This is the pores. So this is the ventral nervous system and tubular art like that. This is the tubular art force. So this is the insert to open art systems images clearly. This is a closed circulatory system. The heart and blood, intestinal fluids, the small branches of vesicles, each organs like that too. This is a group of vessels in surrounding these areas. The particular areas is called as the dorsal vessels in main heart, and axillary hearts is the sub hearts like that. So here their open circulation system. The open circulation system uh, primarily found in invertebrates. This is the open circulation systems. The find the primarily found in the invertebrates. Invertebrate. Here, the blood flows freely through cavities. Blood freely flow the cavities, and there are no vessels to conduct the blood, and there is no distinction between blood and intestinal fluid, and the combined fluid is called hemolymph. So see, this is the heart, and hemolymph is seen as the surrounding organs. This is the clear images to open circulatory systems. Open circulatory system. Then again, arthropods like that, which is the animals having the open circulatory system. This is including arthropods, including insects, crustaceans, and most molluscans have an open circulatory system. In an open circulatory system, the blood is not enclosed in the blood vessels but is pumped into a cavity called a hemocoel. This is the cavity moved to the cavity hemocoel. Hemocoel is like look like the one chamber. Is have the one chamber. This chamber filled with hemolymph. The blood is called a hemolymph. He has the heartbeats, and the animal moves the hemolymph circulates around the organs within the body cavity, re-entering the heart through openings called ostia. This movement allows for a gas and nutrients exchange. At the same time, the circulation of hemolymph, the carrying to the gases and nutrients also exchanges also. The hemolymph fill all the interior hemocoel of the body and surrounding the heart cells. The hemolymph is a composed of water, inorganic salts, mostly sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium, and calcium also. Then, and organic compounds, mostly carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. The primary oxygen transporter molecules is hemocyanin, because this is hemocyanin having the copper 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 molecules like that. It is the color of appear to the pink color, sorry, blue color. Yeah, the blue color, the hemocyanin. There are free floating cells, the hemocytes within the hemolymph that play a role of in the arthropods and immune system. The arthropods and immune system. The what is the advantage? What is the characteristics are open circulation system? The first characteristic system is very important to the blood flows at the low velocity and low pressure due to the absence of smooth muscles in the vessels. Very, very important. Low velocity and low pressures because absence of smooth muscles in the vessels. The second point is exchange of materials between cells and blood is facilitated by the direct contact. Then third is red blood cells are absent. Respiratory pigment is present. If present is dissolved in plasma. For example, like that earthworms. Earthworms blood RBC dissolved in plasma. So this is the characters of open blood systems. Then next one, this is the closed circulatory systems. See, the closed circulatory system in all vertebrates, in all vertebrates, in all vertebrate organisms, as well as some invertebrates like earthworms, that is a closed loop system in which the blood is most moving freely in a cavity. So this is the cavity here cavity. So this is the air cavity. Then next one, in a closed circulation system, blood is contained inside blood vessels circulating in undirectionally. In undirectional means is a in one direction, the right direction, at the same time give the left directions. So this is the one direction mode for the heart around the systematic circulatory route, then returning to the heart again. The blood can flow through vessels inside the body, such as arteries and venous, and is called as a closed circulatory system. So this is the closed circulatory system. The image is clear. So this is the closed circulatory system. The next one, the next slide is have the see, this is the clear image of the an open circulatory system, heart, hemolymph, serous, surrounding organs, the direct to observe the organs, the pores like that, the tubular heart in insects. Insects belongs to phylum Arthropoda. Then next one, it is the enclosed circular system. Blood is confined vessels and distinct from the interstitial fluids. The closed systems are more efficient at the transporting circulatory fluids to tissues and cells. The annelids, cephalopods, and vertebrates have the closed circulatory system. So this is the uh, closed circulatory system complete images. The organization of vertebrate circulatory systems. The organization like that, humans and other vertebrates have a closed circulatory system called as the cardiovascular systems. The three main types of blood vessels are arteries, veins, and capillaries. The blood flows on the way of the vessels. The arteries branch into arterioles and carry blood away from the heart to capillaries. The networks of capillaries called capillary beds are the sites chemical exchanges between the blood and interstitial fluid. The venous converge into veins and turn blood from capillaries to the heart. So the arteries and and types of like that venous and distinguished by the direction of blood flows by not by oxygen content. The vertebrates are contain two or more chambers. They're like that human heart four chambers, and blood enters to the atrium and is pumped out through the ventricles. The signal the signal the single circulation. So what is the single circulation? This is the only most of the aquatic animals having the single circulation systems. The bony fishes, ray fishes, and the sharks have single circulation with a two chambered heart, and single circulation blood leaving the heart and passes through two capillary and before returning. Then next one, see observe here is clear observe to the single circulation like that to belongs to sharks. For example, this is the blue color is oxygen rich blood, oxygen poor blood, and the red color is oxygen rich blood. So this is the blue color is not having the oxygen, heart ventricles. The when this is the gill capillaries and body capillaries having the oxygen. This is a double circulation like that to vertebrates like that to pulmonary circuits and lung capillaries having the oxygen because red color is appeared, and this is the oxygen poor color is blue color. Systematic capillaries like that to this particular uh, presence of single and uh, double circulation system. So this is a clear image to single circular systems in sharks or aquatic animals. Then next one, The double circulation system. The amphibians, reptiles, and mammals have the double circulation system. Oxygen poor and oxygen rich blood are pumped separately from the right and left sides of the heart. See, this is the right and left sides of the heart. Oxygen poor and oxygen red. So this is the double circulation system. In the in a in reptiles and mammals, oxygen poor blood follows through the pulmonary circuit to pick up the oxygen through the lungs. Because this is the here only double circulatory systems. Then amphibians and oxygen poor blood follows through such as the pulmonary circuits in the pick up of the oxygen through the lungs and skin. Because the skin having the some internal adjustations of cells. Then oxygen rich blood delivers oxygen through the systematic circuit. Then double circulation maintains high blood pressure and the organs and the does signal single circulation. So then adaptation of a double circulation system. Which type of adaptations? The hearts vary in different vertebrates groups like that to human, cow, sheep, like that for examples. So this is the amphibians. Amphibians are mainly examples of frogs. Frogs having the three lobes of heart structures here. Frogs. 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 Frogs and other amphibians have the three chambers or two arteria and one ventricles. Two arteria and one ventricles. The ventricles pump blood into the forked artery that splits the ventricles output into the pulmonary circuit and the systematic circuit. When the underwater blood flow to the lungs in shut up, nearly shut up in the down particular areas. See, this is the key of amphibians. This is the poor oxygen rich is the color of blue color and the oxygen rich in the red color. The pulmonary circuit, lung and skin capillaries and the atrium. So this is the atrium place. This is the atrium, two atriums, one ventricle. See, this is the one ventricle, right and left, the systematic capillaries. So this is the amphibians, the like for example, frog. The next one, reptiles. The reptiles except birds, like that birds. The turtles, snakes, and lizards have a three-chambered heart, two atria, and one ventricle, same as this amphibian structure. And they will have the turtles, snakes, and lizards also three chambers heart is here. In alligators, caimans, and other crocodilian in the septum divides in the ventricles like that. For example, four chambers here. The reptiles have the double circulation with a pulmonary circuit, lungs, and a systematic circuit. So this is the reptiles except birds. So for example, the imagination of except birds. So this is the circulation to the pulmonary circuit. This is the poor oxygen colors in and reach the oxygen colors lung capillaries here. The right systematic aorta and left systematic aorta and atrium and ventricles. So this is the ventricles and atriums and left and right the systematic capillaries. So this is the structure of reptiles except birds. Then mammals and birds. Mammals and birds have the four chambers of heart with two atria and two ventricles. The left side of the heart pumps and receives only oxygen-rich blood, while the right side receives and pumps only oxygen-poor blood. Oxygen-poor blood every time is blue color, and oxygen-rich blood is every time is red color. This is the called as a oxyhemoglobin. The mammals or the birds are endotherms and require the more oxygen than ectotherms. Endotherms and ectotherms are having the required the more oxygen because oxygen is the which type converted oxyhemoglobin. So this is the mammals and birds circulatory system like that the pulmonary circuit, lung capillaries and arterium articles and left side ventricles and right side ventricles. This is uh, the structure of circulation of mammals. Then next one, we see compare the amphibians, reptilians except the birds and mammals and birds. See observe the clearly how many structural and heart and functional difference, structural difference and functional difference. So this is the difference between two amphibians, reptilians and mammalian circulation systems. So the coordinator cycles of a heart contains the drive double circulation in their mammals. The mammalian's cardiovascular system meets the body's continuous demand for oxygen. Why? Because the oxygen blood begins into the flow within the right ventricles pumping blood to the lungs. So this appear to the oxygen. This color is red color. In the lungs and blood loads oxygen and unloads carbon dioxide. Oxygen rich blood from the lungs enter the heart. At the left atrium and is pumped through the aorta to the body tissues by the left ventricles. The aorta provides blood to the heart through the coronary arteries. So this is the blood returns the heart through the superior vein cava and blood from head, neck, and forelimbs, and inferior vena cava, blood from tongue and hind limbs. The superior vena cave and inferior vena cave flow into the right atrium. So this is the pumping of atrium circle, human being. So see this observation is clearly the superior vena cave. This like is pumping the heart and neck here. The capillaries of head and forelimbs here. The pulmonary arteria and capillary arteries is clear heart structure, four lobes and one lobe. And this is one lobe and one lobe. Totally four lobes having the four lobes here. The next one, the mammalian heart, a closer look at the mammalian heart provides a better understanding a double circulation. So see, this is the double circulation of human being and circulation. The next one, this clear is images of heart because the heart is clearly left atrium and right atrium and pulmonary atrium and pulmonary aorta. So this is the uh, uh, difference of character of cold closed circulations like that the heart functions of closed circulation system. Now what is the characters of closed circulation system? The speed of blood circulation and blood pressure are more due to the presence of muscular and contractile blood vessels. The most important of this character is the closed circulation system. The next one, the exchange of the materials between cells and blood is mediated in intentional fluid. The next one, red blood cells with are the respiratory pigment. It like that hemoglobin because it is having the oxygen. It is called as oxyhemoglobin HbO2. In earthworms, hemoglobin is the present in only plasma. The next characters of closed circulation system, the volume of blood flowing through blood vessels is regulated by the contraction and relaxation of muscles and blood vessels. This is the advantage of characters of closed blood circulation system. The heart contracts and relaxes and rhythmic cycle is called as a cardiac cycle, like that dub dub, lub dub. The contraction or pumping phase is called systole. The relaxation or filling phase is called diastole. The phase is called because the contraction phase called as the systole. Relaxation called as the diastole. Contraction is called as systole. Relaxing phase is the diastole. This is a arterial and ventricle diastole. So 0.4 seconds. This is the uh, diastole means the relaxation feeling phase is called diastole. How much time in diastole is the 0.4 seconds only for. So this is the arterial systole and ventricle systole. The arterial systole like that the relaxation. This is the contraction of arterial systole, ventricle diastole, 0.1 seconds, only microseconds, 0.1 seconds is there. See, this observe ventricular systole and arterial diastole. So this is the time of 0.3 seconds. So the heart rate called as the plus is the number of beats per minutes 0.4, 0.1 second, 0.3 seconds. So this is a minute calculation of minute milliseconds. The store volume is amount of blood the pumped in a single contraction. The cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped into the system and circulation per minute and depends on the both of heart rate and stroke volume. So the four values prevented backflow for blood in the heart, the anteroventricular AV, atrioventricular AV values separate speech in the separate each atrium and ventricles. So the semilunar values values control the blood flows in the heart and pulmonary artery. The lumped-up sound of heartbeat is caused by the recoil of blood against the AV values lump there against the similar dub values. The backflow of blood through the defective values cases of on murmur, heart murmur. The maintains the heart rhythmic beats. The how to maintain the heart rate with this is the calculation is only the electrocardiogram ECG. The ECG the heart rhythmic beat recorded to the recorded to uh, cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular systems is recorded to the one type to another type. Some cardiac muscle cells are self-exhaustible, meaning they are contact without any signal from the nervous system because the uh, heart functions of CNS, central nervous system and pulmonary nervous system, controlled by the contact without any signal from the nervous system. The synchronous nodes are pacemakers sets the rate and timing and which the cardiac muscle cells contract. Impulse that travel during the cardiac cycle can be recorded as an electrocardiogram. The mission name is ECG or EKG, electrocardiogram. Then next one, this is the see observe the noted electrocardiogram recorded. This yellow color is the SCN node pacemaker. This is the here pacemaker here recorded to pacemaker. The next one, second observe the AV node. Here AV node. This is a pacemaker. This is a heavy node. The color is appear to here. The next one, the bundle of branches, bundles of branches here. This is the bundles of branches here. The heart apex. This is the lower part is the heart apex is called the heart apex. Then fourth one, Purkinje fibers. This is the four is the Purkinje fibers. The growth of high rate is called it is the it is the Purkinje fibers. Then next one, the impulse from the SCN node travel into the anteroventricular node. Atrioventricular node, AV node. At the AV node, the impulses are delayed and then travel to the Purkinje fiber that make the ventricles contract. The pacemaker is regulated by two portion of the nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions, sympathetic nerves and parasympathetic divisions. The sympathetic division speeds up the pacemakers. The sympathetic nerves division speed up the pacemaker. The parasympathetic divisions slow down the pacemakers. Increasing of pacemakers sympathetic, decreasing the slowly decreasing the parameter nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, the slow and down. The pacemaker is also regulated by hormones and temperatures. Very very important. This point is the pacemaker is also regulated by hormones and temperatures. The patterns of blood pressures and flow reflect the structure and arrangement of blood vessels. The physical principles that govern movement of water in plumbing systems also influence the functioning of animal circulatory systems. The blood vessels structure and functions very important of blood vessels. A vessel's cavity is called the central lumen. The central lumen. The epithelial layer that lines blood vessels is called as a endothelium. What is the name is endothelium. So this is the blood vessels here. For example, this upper layer is a inner layer. The middle layer of the meso layer is called the middle layer. It is the formation of a endothelium. So epithelial cells layer the lines of blood vessels is called as a endothelium. Endothelium is a smooth and to minimize the resistance. Minimize the resistance because this is the maximize minimize. So this is having the endothelium. The characters of endothelium smooth and minimize the resistance. So here so clear the red blood cells here, the arteria, venous, the dissections of this is the value venu and arteria. Endothelium here. So this is the endothelium, the smooth and minimize the resistance of here, the smooth muscles and connective tissues. So this is the capillaries, the red blood cells under microns, basal lumen, endothelium, the smooth muscles here, connective tissues, uh, the arterioles and venule, red blood cells and capillaries. So this clear image, observe the clear image, the endothelium, basal lumen, and epithelium cells, arteria and venous. So artery and venous red blood cells. So red blood cells and capillaries, for example, electron microscope STEM, SEM, screening electron microscope images like that. The red blood cells and capillary images here complete clear observation this picture. The capillaries have the thin walls, the endothelium loops, endothelium plus its basal lamin of facilities to the exchange of materials. So because this endothelium layer is the very thin layer, why? Because this is the pumping and supplies the materials and exchange of the gases. The arteries and venous have the endothelial smooth muscles and connective tissues. Here, the absorption of nutrients and energy levels here because the endothelium smooth and muscles and connective to the tissues. Interconnection the tissues. The arteries have the thicker walls, the venous to accommodate the high pressure of blood pumped from the heart. In the thinner walled venous blood flows back to the heart mainly as a result of muscles actions. The blood flow the velocity. So because the vertebrates blood circulation is velocity, the physical laws governing movement of fluids through pipes affect to blood flow and blood pressure. Velocity of blood flows is the slowest in the capillary beds is a result of the high resistance and a large total cross selection area. The blood flow in the capillaries in necessary slow for exchanges of material. So here the capillaries is the layer is the very thick is the small layer here. So this is the image of layers, systolic pressures and diastolic pressures. So aorta arterius, this is the only the observation the electrocardium ECG observation images. The blood pressure BP is the blood pressure. BP means the blood pressure. Blood flows from areas of higher pressure to higher areas of lower pressure. So this is a higher pressure to lower pressure. It is the blood flows. The blood pressures in the pressures that blood extracts against the wall of vessels. In rigid vessels, blood pressure in maintain the less rigid vessels deform the blood pressure is lost. So the changes in blood pressures during the cardiac cycle, like that, the cardiac cycle, the structure, the activity to systolic and diastolic. The systolic pressure in the presence in the arteries during the ventricular systole, it is the highest pressure in the arteries art- arterials. Then diastolic pressure is the pressures in the arteries during the diastole. It is lower than systolic pressure, increasing and decreasing. Sorry, increasing and decreasing. Plus is the rhythm blooding the arterial walls with the each and of heartbeat. The regulation of blood pressures, which is the regulation of blood pressure, like that hormones and chemical factors. The blood pressure is determined by the cardiac output and peripheral resistance due to the contraction of arterioles. The vasoconstriction is the construction of smooth muscles in arterioles walls in increasing blood pressures. Vasodilation is the relaxation of smooth muscles in the arterioles. It causes blood pressures to pressures to fall. Then vasoconstriction and vasodilation help maintain adequate blood flows as the body demands change. Nitric oxidase is a major inducer of vasodilation. The peptide endothelium is an important inducer for the vasoconstriction. It is the regulation of heartbeats that depend by the hormones, the blood pressure and gravity. The blood pressure is generally measured for the arterial in the arm the same height as the heart. The blood pressure for the healthy 20 years old at rest in the 120 milligrams at the systole and 70 diastole. 120. So here this the blood pressure reading 120 by 70. It is the major. The meter name is the sphygmomanometer. The arterial closed. The sound audible in stethoscope. The stethoscope here, and the sound stops. Here the sound stops. So this is the how to calculation of blood pressures images. The painting caused by indicated blood flows the head, and animals the longer necks require the higher systolic pressure to the pump blood greater distance against the gravity. The blood is moved through veins by smooth muscles construction, skeletal muscles contractions, and expansions of a vena cave with the inhalation. One way values in veins prevent backflow of blood. So here this is the image of the blood circulation, how to the flow and the direction of blood flows in the vein towards the heart. This is the value open here, the skeletal muscles and value closed here. Next one, capillary functions. The capillary functions means the blood flows through only 5 to 10% of the body of capillaries at that time. The capillaries in major organs are usually filled the capacity, and at the same time blood supply varies in the main other sites. So main other sites like that, ventricle, arterial, arteries. This is the complete the structure and functions of human circulatory system. The two mechanism regulated distributions of blood in the capillary beds, the contraction of the smooth muscles layer in the wall of an arterioles contract the vessels. The uh, precapillary spectacles control flow of blood between arterioles and venules. The blood flow is regulated by nerve impulse, hormones, and other chemicals. The blood flows are regulated by the nerve impulse and hormones and other chemicals also. So this is the capillary through fair channel, the spits arterial spits. This is the relaxed movement. This is the contracted movements. This is the difference in between two images here. Then the exchanges of substance between the blood and interstitial fluid takes place across the thin endothelial walls of the capillaries. The differences between blood pressures and osmotic pressures drives fluids out of capillaries at the arterioles and into capillaries at the value end. The most blood proteins and all blood cells are too large to passes through the endothelium cells. So here, this is the endothelium cells. This is the internal fluids, the body cells. Net fluid movements like the blood pressures, the osmotic pressures, arterial and capillarism, direction of blood flows, and venous and capillaries. This complete images too about the description. The fluid returned by the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system returns fluid that leaks out from the capillary beds. The fluid called lymph returns the circulation directly at the nerves end of the capillary bed and indirectly through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system drains into venous in the neck, values lymph in the vessels presence of the black backflow of fluid. So each and backward reverse is the values here because this is the double circulator system. The lymph nodes are organs that filter lymph and play an important role in the body defense. Edema is swelling caused by the distributions in the flow of lymph and edema. So here, this is the edema images here. This is the lymph of the structure of swelling of this particular areas. This the blood consumption components and contribute the exchange of transported to different. This is the complete structure of types of complete structure of human being. Then tomorrow I will explain the mammalian today mammalian art functions and the structure of the art functions is completed. Then tomorrow I will give the brief information about that the circulatory systems and circulatory system. So uh, um, so next class, the functioning of blood regulation of heart rate and hemoglobination regulations, and next class of blood clotting and factors involved in blood clotting. Next yesterday class, next Saturday, I will explain the that blood clotting and regulating of blood that one. Then blood clotting, the informal factors of blood clotting. Tomorrow, next class, I will explain the particular syllabus. Okay, right, Navya. Only one student here present. Navya is present today. P. Navya. Hello, Navya. Navya. Hello, Navya. Are you audible? Hello. Hello. Hello, Navya. Shobha Navya. Hello. Hello, Navya.
Yes, sir.
వినిపిస్తుందమ్మా? అర్థమవుతుందా?
ఆ, అర్థమైంది సార్, వినిపించింది.
అవునా? స్లైడ్స్ కనిపించాయా?
కనిపించాయి సార్.
వెరీ గుడ్, వెరీ గుడ్. అంటే మన హార్ట్ ఫంక్షన్ అలా పనిచేస్తుందని తెలిసిందా?
తెలిసింది సార్.
అవునా? మీరు ఒక్కరే అటెండ్ అవుతున్నారు. అందుకే
అవును
మీరు
సార్.
మీరు కూడా ఉన్నారా లేరా అని ఒకసారి పలకరిద్దామని.
నేనున్నా సార్, అసలు ఎవరు లేరు, నేను లేకపోతే ఎలా అని.
అదే మీరు ఉంటున్నారా లేరా, మరి మీరు కూడా ఆన్ చేసి మరి పక్కకు పడేసిరా ఫోన్ ఏమనిపిస్తుంది.
లేదు సార్, మాకు రేపటి నుండి సెమ్ 3, సెమ్ 2, సెమ్ 4 ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఉన్నాయి సార్.
ఓకే.
అందుకని రేపు సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది, జువాలజీనే, సెమ్ 4
అవునా?
లోది.
అవునా?
అది చూస్తున్నా, అపికల్చర్.
ఓకే, ఓకే, ఓకే. ఎక్కడ ఎగ్జామ్?
ఒంగోలు సార్, శర్మ కాలేజ్ లో.
శర్మ కాలేజీనా? ఒకసారి మీరు
అవును.
కనిపించండి, మీ వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి. మేము చూసారా నేను?
ఓకే సార్, ఉండండి. ఎస్ సార్.
రైట్, రైట్, రైట్. మీరే చూశాను. ఓకే, ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్. మంచిగా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
రైట్, రైట్. ఏ ఫోర్త్ పేపరా?
4th సెమ్ సార్.
ఫోర్త్ సెమ్. ఏది టైటిల్ ఏంటి?
అపికల్చర్ సార్, రేపు జువాలజీ SEC 1.
ఓకే, ఓకే. ఎపికల్చరా? ఓకే, మస్తు ఉంటుంది, బాగుంటుంది ఎపికల్చర్.
బాగుంది సార్.
ఎలక్టివ్ పేపర్ కదా అది?
అవును సార్, ఎలెక్టివ్ పేపర్.
రైట్, రైట్. మంచిగా రాయొచ్చు, నో ప్రాబ్లం, నో ఇష్యూస్. డయాగ్రామ్స్ వేయండి నీట్గా, లేబులింగ్ చేయండి. మంచి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్, ఇంట్రడక్షన్, దాని యొక్క ప్రోగ్రెస్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, ద కన్క్లూజన్, నీట్ డయాగ్రామ్స్, లేబులింగ్స్, మంచి బెస్ట్ మార్క్స్ వస్తాయి.
ఓకే సార్.
రైట్ అమ్మా, విష్ యూ ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.